What a weekend in wrestling this has been. We got a new tribal chief, apparently. We have a hateration to another level, a new NXT world champion. The women continue to kill it. Look, I'm gonna talk some WWE stuff from this weekend because it was great. So coming up, break it down with Brian H.
No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just gonna keep you right where you're at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Break It Down with Brian H. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. This show, of course, is brought to you by the Wrestling Realm. So you know what to do. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button as you click down below. Make sure you check out everything, including $20 off your purchase from SeatGeek. Baseball season's heating up, wrestling's coming up, so make sure you check that out. And of course, go to wrestlingrealm.com to get your merch. Folks, Solo Sikoa has lost his mind. I said that last week, right? But as time moves along, I'm like, I don't understand, what in the blue hell happened? Because now he's called out Roman Reigns. Now, y'all know I was all before saying that maybe, maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to be a little friendly, eventually the Civil War happened. But then after he put out Paul Heyman, and then after he said Roman Reigns wasn't man enough, oh, the Tribal Chief got to come back. He got to come back swinging. He do. When you look at everything, he got to come back, and he got to come back better than ever before. So, what we saw this past week, before we get into Money in the Bank, Solo did this vignette in which he said he had to bring the championship back to the family. He didn't want it to be this way, but his family needed him to be there. And I mentioned before, he goes out, he recruits dangerous people. Right? So dangerous that even Paul Heyman is like, no, why are we even bringing them? Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu. But now Solo believes, and he's having everybody say, acknowledge him. He's the tribal chief, and he put the lay on. So we got past that. And like I said, the promo right there, the promo had me thinking, oh my goodness, I don't believe he just did this. Because now he's disrespected Roman Reigns, and don't nobody disrespect the tribal chief. And you got people saying, not my tribal chief. Hey, I feel the same way. You know me, I throw up my ones. I mess with the bloodline. I love Roman Reigns. I love the Usos. I love Solo Sikoa. But he done gone too far. But you know what he did? He backed it up in the ring, folks. He went to Money in the Bank, and not only was the bloodline victorious, but Solo Sikoa pinned the WWE champion. He didn't pin Kevin Owens. He didn't pin Randy Orton. He pinned Cody himself. So, does that make him not a viable contender for the WWE championship? Look like that's what it's going to be at SummerSlam. I mean, you pin the champ, you should get a title shot. We all know Cody was the first person to beat Solo in WWE. Now, the interesting part will be if he be the one to take out Solo, right? I mean, if Solo be the one to take down Cody, if Solo could be the next WWE champion. Because everybody has this thing, okay, they're going to be in a match and Roman's going to interrupt. But what if Solo wins and then during the celebration, Roman comes back? Or what if Solo has a run as the champion and then all of a sudden, Roman comes back in the middle of it? Maybe he's doing the celebration. Bad Blood is, WWE has announced that they're bringing Bad Blood back. And I think everybody's kind of penciling in some sort of bloodline-esque. So I don't know. I just know things done gotten out of hand. Solo Sikoa has gotten out of hand. I don't know who stops him. And when you pin the WWE champion, you went out there, you said everything you was going to do, and he did it. And he surrounded himself with hitters, people who don't play. You saw the match. As soon as he was about to go for that third crossroad, get into that third crossroad, Jacob Fatu, just like a bullet, jumps off the rope, pow, knocks down Cody. That set it up for the Samoan Spike. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what Roman Reigns is going to do, but if he's going to take control of his bloodline again, he's going to have to, he's going to have to make it with his boys. He's going to have to make it with Jimmy and Jay. He never said he didn't love him. Jay left. Remember, Jay left the family. After Tribal Combat, they were supposed to have Tribal Combat. It was supposed to, Now Solo and Jimmy got involved. Maybe they wasn't supposed to. But Jay went to SmackDown. went to Raw. Got away from everybody. And Jimmy kept following him. No, you're not going to win anything without me. You're not going to win gold without me. Them three, it's always been them three, right? Since they was little. When the Roman said when he started playing with the toys and they was wondering who was playing with the toys. It's always been them three. They got to get right. Because Solo Sikoa, he'd have lost it. He'd have lost his mind. Oh, man, oh, man. Now, let's move on to we talked about the WWE Championship. Now, the World Heavyweight Championship. Equal hateration. Now, Drew McIntyre became Mr. Money in the Bank. He called his shot. He said, I'm going to win Money in the Bank. I'm cashing in that night, and I'm leaving. Now, I told everybody two things. I said, CM Punk is going to interrupt, and Drew McIntyre can be the one to win it, not cash in successfully, and not be hurt. And this is a year Briefcase could deal with that as far as the men was concerned. Well, the crazy thing is that when you look at all of this, right? You look at everything that's not happening. You look at Drew McIntyre doing all this, and you see how this plays out. I love that he went out there and declared a triple threat match. It looks as if Damian Priest didn't kick out. So let's put a kayfabe hat on. We can do that every now and again right here. I'll break it down with Brian H. Drew McIntyre does not kick out. Damian Priest does not kick out. And then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre's music hit. Now, the referee decided to keep the match going, even though he didn't kick out. Again, looking at kayfabe, as if Drew sees, okay, 1, 2, 3, doesn't wait for the bell, hurry up, grabs, tell him to cue his music, and he runs out there. So in his mind, he's coming to cash in on Seth Rollins. But he wasn't, right? He wasn't. Instead, it had to be a triple threat match. He was already out there, so he comes in for a triple threat match. Well, now we can take the kayfabe hats off, right? All right, we gotta have fun with it. But one of the things when I sat back and I looked at it, I said, "Wow, this is the quickest turnaround time of the Money in the Bank." Follow me here. Damian Priest cashed in on Drew McIntyre, right? Becomes WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Drew McIntyre, just a few months later, attempted to cash in on Damian Priest, who was the World Heavyweight Champion. Never has there ever been a time, where the Money in the Bank was cashed in very closely, right? Where that briefcase was cashed in within such and such time period. It's never been that close. In addition, it's never been for a get back. You've never seen the Money in the Bank briefcase cashed in on the same guy who cashed in on you. So I thought that was brilliantly done. Now, I also love the fact that CM Punk disrupted this, not only because he's continuing his hatred for Drew McIntyre, but because Seth Rollins was involved. Remember, Seth Rollins isn't able to get a title shot, right? Now Rollins cannot get a title shot as long as Priest is champion. This reinvigorates the hate that originally got us here, and that is Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Now remember, when we saw that documentary and everything, right? And you hear all the talks, it was penciled in. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania. We even thought there was a possibility that if done right, that could have been a conversation for night 2's main event. But Drew McIntyre, who injured CM Punk's arm, but he was also vocal about how he felt as far as Punk not just coming back in after saying all the stuff he said, right? That, again, it reinvigorated the hatred because he had the nerve to say he prayed for this, and that set CM Punk off. And all of a sudden, we have this ongoing battle. Now, Seth Rollins, who proved his hatred for Punk and everything, he was busy dealing with the bloodline and helping Cody. But he still had to deal with Drew McIntyre. Punk was kind of like, okay, I don't like you, but whatever. I got so much going on. Now we get all of this. Here's the problem, though. Damian Priest is the world champion. And he's kind of the fourth person on this spectrum, right? Now, he has a whole issue with Finn Balor because they're having this whole issue with the Judgment Day. Who's the leader? Is he a strong enough leader? And these are not the type of distractions you want when you have Gunther standing there waiting the same way Brock Lesnar was waiting at SummerSlam 2002 when he took down The Rock. Gunther is standing there waiting to take down Damian Priest and become World Heavyweight Champion. Meanwhile, you got a whole hate triangle. And this is what's exciting. Because of that, because CM Punk was so focused on costing Drew, right? Because he could have just, beat up Drew, got him out of the ring. No, he was focused on that, making sure Drew got pinned, that Seth Rollins now can't challenge as long as Priest is champion. Man, this is good. I'm happy for it. I'm excited. This makes me excited for Raw Monday night, for SummerSlam, which your boy will be there. Make sure you come follow me, come holler at me. But this is the summer, my boy Kaz always says trying shit. This is around that time where shit gets crazy. And you also enjoy it because it's so much fun. So I'm excited. Y'all let me know how y'all feel though. Y'all let me know how you feel because this is crazy. But look, I gotta take a quick break. I'm gonna go back at a time when Cody Rhodes left WWE and the real Dwayne Allen and I decided to do a show about it.
Wrestlers don't have to follow what is considered the status quo of the WWE these days. If you're not being used, you can decide I want to do something more. The rush of the fans, whether it's 50 people or 50,000, no longer makes a difference because superstars just want to be recognized because they feel now that maybe I don't need the machine to be what I consider successful.
Yep. That's true. You look at a guy like Cody Rhodes, right? Mm-hmm. Homegrown. Let's not forget. Homegrown in the WWE. What'd you say? Born with a silver spoon in his mouth?
Absolutely.
Say when it comes to the business?
Of course.
And he left because he wasn't like the way he was being used. I mean, he even went on record saying he had the challenges was like figuring out what to charge people, right? What to charge promoters, what to expect, because he hadn't been through this before.
No.
But he went out there, he's thrived. We mentioned him on our Breakout Superstars episode, which you can find on the Wrestling Realm YouTube channel.
Did we?
And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. That was about Cody Rhodes leaving WWE. And here we are. He's back. He's the WWE champion. CM Punk is back. He's maybe soon a contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Man, I love wrestling because you just never know. The real Dwayne Allen and I filmed that in 2019. Just to go to show you how things can change. Now, I want to talk about the brand new NXT champion, Ethan Page. Shout out to him. What a match. Him, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and somebody who I did not expect I would change and become a fan of, that being Shawn Spears. I was not a fan of Todd Dillinger, the Perfect 10 gimmick. I hated the hairstyle, didn't like the gear, the whole nine. He goes to AEW, becomes the chairman. I'm still not buying it. When he comes back to WWE, he's like this mystery person that a lot of us, me, was hoping it was Okada, but it was him. And I was like, man, okay, it's all right, whatever. But in this picture lately, I was like, okay, I'm sold. He finally got me. But incredible 4-way match. I was a fan of it. Ethan Page wins the title. I love Trick Williams hitting his finisher on Javon Evans by accident, then hitting it on Ethan Page, and then one Cody guy pulls off Trick Williams, so another Cody guy can win the championship. Ethan Page falls back, knocked out 1, 2, 3, and he doesn't pop right up. We have a brand new NXT champion. Now, I was talking to Brother Hugh earlier in the day, and I said, I wouldn't be mad if Trick loses because I don't see where he needs to have this long title reign, but I also don't see him jumping to the main roster just yet. So let him lose. He got a title reign under his belt. Now let's see him chase a little bit, right? Let's see him go after Ethan Page or for the championship. He got a good friendship with Javon Evans, right? But how long can that last? Because y'all going after the same thing. And so this is good. It's good for NXT. Shout out to Ethan Page, comes in right away. Somebody who's been primed and ready. If you've been paying attention, he's had the charisma. You can see he's now kind of getting that Shawn Michaels sauce. We saw that with Brian Pillman Jr., Alexis King. Now, he's not ready to be champion yet, per se, but you're seeing these guys come over from other companies and really getting a chance to show off, but also somebody like Ethan Page, who's a veteran, he can work with a Trick Williams. He can work with Javon Evans, that in-ring experience, some of the things. That's what's fun to watch about this. So I'm really excited. Tuesday nights is fun, man. And speaking of Tuesday night, I always say the women dominate every week. Last week we saw Michin and Jada Parker kick off the show with an incredible street fight. Jada Parker was victorious, getting her lick back on Mia Yim. But boy, did they, they broke furniture. They broke each other in half, and it was Jada Parker that was victorious. We saw Kelani Jordan and Sol Ruka, a very respectful match, right? Kind of like your ultra baby faces taking on each other. And Kelani Jordan got it done. She's showing that she can work. The title, her and the title needed each other. At first, I was pulling for Mia Yim to win. I thought Sol Ruka was the odds-on favorite. But for them to go out there and have that match, and I'm glad it wasn't no craziness. It wasn't no roll up or accidentals on purpose. No, just a straight woman versus woman contest. And I enjoyed it. I watched it, and so I thought they did a great job. I'm interested to see what happens for Kelani Jordan next. I could see a Jada Parker now, challenging her. She's made it clear she wants gold, so I could see her being up next, challenging for the championship. Who knows? Again, I don't need to see all these lengthy title reigns everywhere. We're probably gonna get that with Gunther, if we're being honest. Sami Zayn's probably kind of expired as far as I'm concerned, as he was victorious over Braun Breaker. I was surprised. Cody's is gonna be a long run, but same with Bailey. Although I could see Bailey losing to Nia Jax. But who knows? Roxanne has been having an incredible run. She was victorious over Lola Vice. So I thought that was really cool. I do want to talk about one of the things I do want to talk about though was Tiffany Stratton. Now I fell into the trap. I said, okay, Chelsea Green it's in Toronto, it's in Canada, she's gonna win. And I should have always trusted my gut. I've been saying since I spoke with her at WrestleMania, Tiffany Stratton that is, that she's gonna become Money in the Bank. She has the it factor. She's going to have the pink briefcase. It's going to be sparkling and everything. And it's going to be fun to watch. It's Tiffy time. You know, she made her presence known immediately. I love the feud she had with Becky Lynch on NXT. I love how they went out there and they tore it up. And then she went to the main roster and maintained that momentum. I love this little dynamic she has with Nia Jax. I think it can go far. So I'm interested to see how she carries this Money in Bank briefcase. I want to see her hold it as long as possible. We've always talked about with the women, Carmella was the longest. Everybody else is either the same night or the next night. Io Sky only lasted a month with it because she cashed in on Bianca Belair after Bianca had just won the title from Asuka and Charlotte. Well, she beat Asuka. She made it was Asuka and Charlotte, but you know. So who knows? That's what I'm gonna know. How do we get there, right? What happens? Where does Tiffy cash in? I think she do need to let it cook and marinate a little bit, and we'll go from there. Now, there's a couple things I want to talk about before we get out of here, folks. And I know a lot of people they talked about the botches this weekend. Whether it was Damian Priest not kicking out, Tonga Loa missing the low blow, and then Roxanne Perez, with the pop rocks. Now, here's the thing. I don't like pointing out botches because, and shout out to Ben Cruz, my co-host on Ring of Wrestling Worldwide. He brought this up one time. He said wrestling isn't supposed to be perfect. Like, if you look at a fight, it's not perfect, right? Now, Priest not kicking out, anything can happen. Well, I heard Stone Cold Steve Austin say this, and I feel the same way. I don't like when wrestlers leave their eyes open as they're getting pinned. That's just me, because it feels like, okay, we know you're gonna kick out, right? And then if you don't kick out with your eyes open, it makes no sense. So I'm not one who loves unless it's early in the match, right? But when somebody hits you with a finisher or something, no. That's why I also hate the multiple false finishes. But then like the low blow with Tonga Loa and like him sliding in the ring, I felt like okay. And then, with Roxanne Perez, to me, that was the best looking one because it looked like she didn't jump over a certain way. She jumped over a different way and then had to like grab Lola Vice back and then do it the right way. But it made sense for the context, right? Like she didn't get enough of it. Now she got enough of it, then 1, 2, 3. And Triple H brought up a good point. He said he wanted to take Damian Priest's phone and isolate him so he doesn't think about that. Because he said he knows, and he said he spoke as Triple H. He would keep thinking about, no matter how good the match was, he would keep thinking about that. Now, it was a couple parts that when I'm watching Damian Priest in this, it didn't look like he took the Claymore kick right. You can kind of see the frustration in Drew's face. You saw the frustration in Seth Rollins' face. You see these things. But I just think a lot of times as fans, we can be hard on stuff like that, right? Oh man, they botched here, they botched there, and it's like at the end of the day, that's hard work what they do, especially when they go in other countries. I feel like those flights may be different. Now I know it's Canada, so it's different, but especially when they go overseas or across the water, it's not the same. So that's just my 2 cents or whatever on the whole botch things, but it is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. You'll hear from me more with my co-host on Ring of Wrestling Worldwide. Maybe a little bit on the Masked Man Show. Definitely on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. This week, TWG Fan Club. Be sure we haven't announced what it's going to be yet. But I'll have more to talk about on all the events from this weekend. But I was up. I wanted to pod. So I said I'm going to set up the mic, turn on the camera, and pod. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this episode of Break It Down with Brian H. Be sure to hit the subscribe button right here. Share it with your friends. Tell everybody. Till the next time, so long, everybody.